Good morning, my beautiful friends. How is everybody today? It's a beautiful day here where I am, and I have no plans for the day. I love to have a few days like this during the week where I don't have any plans. I might do some laundry, or I might just chat with the neighbors and sit outside for a while. So I really enjoy those kind of days, and that is the beauty about being retired. My name is Lorraine, and my channel is Lo's Life and Lessons. Today I'm going to put on my makeup, and it's going to be all cream or liquid products. This seems to be a very popular practice during the summer months. So I'm going to try it today. I am a bit used to using powder. I love using powder, and especially under my eyes. Lately I've discovered that a little bit of powder there really helps, but I can't do that today, so let's see what happens. I've prepared my skin by washing with a gentle gel cleanser. I applied my vitamin C serum, a little moisturizer, and of course sunscreen. And I'm going to share with you my scent of the day, which is Fabergé Straw Hat. This is a little tiny vintage bottle. This perfume was released in 1938, and at that time Fabergé, and on into the 60s and maybe even 70s, Fabergé had a lot of beautiful fragrances. The most popular was Wood Hue. There was also Tigress, but this was always my favorite, Straw Hat. Fun fact, the Fabergé company since 1989 has been owned by a British multinational company named Unilever, which owns hundreds of different brands, and I'm not even sure that they have a perfume now. Straw Hat is a floral, woody musk. And I'm going to read my notes here. It has notes of geranium, Amalfi lemon, lavender, violet, patchouli, sandalwood, and musk. You can find a few of these little bottles on eBay, but in general, it's really not that easily available, and of course, it's very expensive. But it has a special place in my heart because I had this when I was a teenager. I love the scent. It's very summery, and I wore it in the summer when I was a teenager. It's my scent of the day. I'm going to start by putting on my eyeshadow primer. And this is what I have been using lately by Mario. And this is a beautiful compact. It has 2 shades of primer as well as a very finely milled powder. And I've used that powder often under my eyes. But there's a lot of product in here. It is pretty expensive, but I really like the way it applies. It's quite a thick, it's almost like a thick cream, but it just melts into the skin. And I like to use a little sponge to blend it in. I just push it into the skin and put it all over the lid. And it just kind of dries down and makes a beautiful base for the eyeshadow. I have a few eyeshadow primers, and I do use them up, but I'm not sure that I would buy any more. I find that for me, a concealer does pretty much the same thing. And I do have some concealers that I want to use up, so I'll probably use them as eyeshadow primer. This is Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit eyeshadow in color Sandcastles. It's a nice neutral color. So I just put a dab of that on my lid. And then I'll blend that in with a brush. And it's a fairly thick consistency. It blends in easily. And I'm just going to not put it up too high, but put it all over my lid. I like to put a touch of shimmer in the middle of my eyelid, and this is Sephora Liquid Shadow, and it's color Topaz. Sometimes they have this on the Sephora website. It's a really nice shadow, and the price is pretty good. So I'll just put a little dab right there, and then I'll blend that in and up a little ways. And that just gives a touch of shimmer. And I like that look. I know some people say, well, you know, your eyelids are all crepey and whatever, but I don't know. I like the look, so that's what I do. I'm just gonna take a brush and just sort of pat that in. And finally, I like to use this big brush. This is from AOA, and it's a pretty big brush, I guess, to use for eyeshadow, but I kind of like it just to sweep it all over the eyelid, just to make sure that everything is blended in and there's no sharp lines of demarcation. We don't want that. Always blending the shadow up and out. I have to make sure not to get shadow down in this area. That tends to drag the face down. Next is tight lining. And you know, you just can't beat this Maybelline Skinny Gel Pencil. I love this. This is really my go-to. It has a very thin tip. It just glides on so easily. It does not transfer to the bottom waterline. And it just lasts all day. Look how easily and quickly that goes on. And I have many of these, but honestly, this one is just the best. I think I've repurchased this one once already. There. Quick and easy. And next, I like to have a little bit of a line under my bottom lashes. I'm using L'Oreal Infallible. I've used this so much. You can see the writing is kind of worn off there, but that is a really nice pencil. It's nice and soft, and it just puts a little bit of a shadow under my lower lashes. Just a touch. I don't want any harsh lines. When I was younger, and I think it was more the style in the 80s and 90s, was to have a pretty hard line under there, but I don't like that look for myself. Next, I'm going to apply my primer. A primer is something that I have discovered, and I really like using a primer under my foundation. No matter what kind of foundation I'm using, if it's a liquid or a stick or a powder foundation, I find a primer really works for me. It just helps to smooth the skin. It gives a beautiful smooth base to apply any foundation, and the result is a lovely satin flawless finish, I find. This one is by Maybelline. It's Master Prime, and this gives a blurring effect. It's white, but it goes on clear, and it has kind of a cooling feeling on it. You don't need very much. It spreads beautifully, and it has this cooling effect, which is quite pleasant. Now, the foundation I'm going to use today, and by the way, all the products that I'm using are going to be listed and linked for you in the description box below. The foundation I'm using is Rimmel. Rimmel is a company that I really need to explore more. They have beautiful products. This is a matte foundation because I'm not using any powder and I don't really want too much of a shiny look. I'm going to use matte. And I put this, about this amount, on my glass palette. And the color is good for me. It has a kind of a moussey texture. So I will put that on, and I always start with a sponge. I like to apply it this way. I'm not really that fussy about the color of my foundation. It seems that most colors do work for me as long as they're blended in well. And then, see, it's kind of moussey, eh? I'll put that. And I haven't even used everything that's on the palette. I mean, you don't need very much, so that's all left over. And in fact, that even looks like too much, so we'll see if it blends in, because if it's too much, we can always blot some off. I like to push it in with a sponge, first of all. I don't drag the sponge across the skin. And I bring it up a little bit under my eyes, just a little bit. And I use this part of the sponge for that. that looks pretty good so far. And then I go in with my brush. I'll finish this off camera. I find this Rimmel Matte Foundation is really nice. It gives a beautiful natural finish. I'm not sure, it might be the primer that has given a slight little glow under there, but it certainly is very natural looking and I really like the finish of that. Next is going to be brows. This is an AOA brow gel that I got from Miss A. It costs, you know, $1.23. This is colored taupe, and all I need is a pinhead amount on my little palette. Look at that. And I'm going to take this brush, this little slanted brush, and I'm just going to dip it very, very gently because it is so pigmented. But this is really a fun way to apply color to the brows. And it's a method that I hadn't really tried until I ordered this product just to kind of experiment with it. But I just put in that color. You can see how it's just coloring those hairs. And you need so little because it is so very pigmented. Then I use this brush to pull the color through evenly. And that's that. I love that. I'll do the other one off camera. You can see that I didn't even use all the product. So this is kind of a different, fun way to do the brows. It does take a little more time, but I like the result. Next is going to be liquid blush, and this one is from She Glam. I love the packaging and I love the color of this, which is Golden Sun. So you just, there, now that has the product on it. So I'm just going to put a stripe there. Don't panic. It looks kind of scary, but it's amazing how this beautiful liquid blush blends right in. And I'm going to use this brush, and I guess I should use my mirror. And I'm just pressing it in, and I'm going to just pull it up into this area a little bit and down under the jawbone. And the same on this side. It just seems to melt right into the skin and gives that little bit of a sun-kissed look. I love this. And next is going to be a liquid blush. And this one is YC Collection. I got this one in an Ipsy box, and I love this. Again, this is very pigmented, and all I need is 2 drops on each cheekbone. And then I just press it in very gently with my brush and just bring it up onto my temple area. And it just melts into the skin. It gives a beautiful, soft flush to the skin. And I'll do the other one off camera. One thing I find about any makeup is blending is the secret. You can never overblend. And I think it's really important to blend, blend, blend. And for me, less is always more. If I feel that it's just too bright, then I will blend it out. And even if I think that it's not bright enough, I would rather go with that. Next is lashes. And I'm using Maybelline Great Lash. Again, it's hard to beat this one. I love the size of the brush. The texture of the product is just perfect. It lengthens, it volumizes, and it's a very, very nice mascara. I've tried several really expensive ones. I haven't tried all the expensive ones because I find it, if I use an expensive one and it doesn't work for me, well, that's a lot of money down the drain, you know? But this one is so affordable and it works very well. So I will do the other eye off camera, put my lipstick on, do my hair, and I'll be back in a moment. My lipstick today is by Lise Wattier. Look at that beautiful case. The color is Fortune Cookie. There's the beautiful color. You know, I fell in love with Lise Wattier lipsticks when I got a sample one day. And boy, there's a case where a sample really drew me in. This is the most expensive lipstick that I own. I have, I think, 3 Lise Wattier lipsticks. They were about $26 each, and I had never spent that much on a lipstick. But man, I just love the formula of Lise Wattier lipsticks. So that's my look today with all cream and liquid products. No powder allowed. So I kind of like the look. It's very natural. It's very appropriate for a summer day, just hanging around the house. And so that's what I'm doing, and I wish you all a wonderful day. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. I thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I certainly hope to see you in my next video. Take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.